Sportsnet News Tonight.
The code of the road continues for the Leafs tonight as they touch down in Edmonton. Are the Leafs standing by pat, or are they sitting down the job tonight, courtesy a little encouragement from the rough, tough Oilers?
A day after complaining about crease crashers, Theodore and company pushed back, fanning the fight flames in Calgary.
This video is not for the weaks of heart. Kevin's in the Carolina cage, but he's facing an Ottawa team that puts the O in offense.
It's going to bring back a lot of memories for a lot of people.
Mess speaks of moments just like this, ready to relive that magic.
They could load a team, so Glenn always had a loaded team anyhow, so.
And here come the Habs as they hit town for the Heirtage Classic.
Golf gets political, sending the sports elite to South Africa, where Weir was more than willing to strike the shot of the day.
The eyes of Texas are upon Steve Nash and Tim Duncan as the Mavs get another shot at the chance.
Enough is enough. Basta parogi.
So ring the bell already and get this thing started.
From the Sportsnet studios, here are Darren Millard and Mike Toth.
Hi there, everybody. And you really wondered tonight what's going through the mind of Roger Lajoie. Now, you were on with the Raj.
I worked with them today.
Yeah, on the Fan 590. I was listening, and you guys were talking about what else, the rumors going around about Pat Quinn and how he's not exactly the most popular figure in the Maple Leafs dressing room right now. I enjoyed your show, although you took another shot at my hockey playing ability, I noticed on the radio
Well, he
today.
was talking about former goalies suiting up front and playing forward position.
Yeah.
I said, well, you got to look at a guy like Mike Toth. What I failed to mention was that you haven't played the last couple of weeks, and therein lies the shot. I'm just trying to motivate you to come out and get things going
I've
again.
been on the DL, and the Maple Leafs can't use that as an excuse because they've got plenty of healthy bodies, but they're still looking for their first win on this road trip.
Yeah, they are looking like they're playing a bit hurt right now. And you mentioned Pat Quinn fighting off those rumors that the players are possibly tuning him out. Well, this will help his cause. Jason Smith trips Wade Belak. 2 minutes in the box, and the Leafs go on the power play. Robert Reichel, the assignment, the pass in front to Darcy Tucker. Remember, there's some question whether Tucker would be able to play tonight. Well, there's your answer. Tucker with his 5th of the year. Leafs up 1-0 behind Ty Conklin. At Belfour, the start, more wins against the Oilers than any other club. Belfour likes beating them and beating them up. A shot against Ryan Smith, and then how about some lumber and a waffle? Boom! Oilers answer, 2-on-1. Eric Brewer going to the net. He runs over Belfour, who is shaken up, but would be all right. Now late in the first period, Oilers with the man advantage. Alex Hemsky at the point, over to Marc-Andre Bergeron, and he will slap that one home. Bergeron has a great shot. Shows it off. Number 3 in the year, we're tied up at 1 as they get ready to start the second period. The Leafs outshot the Oilers 10-6 in that opening frame. Toronto, again, trying to end a 4-game winless streak and avoid their first 5-game winless skid in nearly 2 years. This is Game 5 of that 6-game junket around the Mountain and Pacific time zones, and they have yet to win.
All right, Darren, the Montreal Canadiens on the road in Calgary tonight. Jose Theodore, he was complaining that the Canucks were crashing his crease too hard last game, just like the Oilers are doing against Belfour tonight. Early on, the Flames are trying the same strategy. There's the shot, and Theodore makes a stop, and the Flames are all over him. And Craig Beauvais takes exception as he drops the gloves with Chris Clark down there in the coffin corner as the Canadians stick up for their goaltender. You've got to support your local goaltender, you kids. Remember that. More rough stuff now. You see Christophe Oliwa and Darren Langdon get it on. It all started when Oliwa cross-checked Langdon in the face, so they dropped the mitts, and Langdon says, yeah, did you see that? He cross-checked me right in the nose, and Oliwa says, who, me? I wouldn't do anything like that. This is Mika Kiprasov, the Flames answer to the Kipper. We've got Nick Kyprios, he's our Kipper, but this Kipper is making his Flames debut, and the Canadians get to him as they work the puck around Ribeiro, eventually out front for Craig Beauvais, that goal-scoring fighting fool. That was actually his first of the year. Flames do bounce back. Dean McCammon looking for Stevie Reinpret. And Ledoux, it is true, as he beats Theodore. And a sea of red, literally. I like those jerseys the Flames are wearing these days. And the game is tied at 1. And Montreal and Calgary always have those great games at the Saddle Dome, especially those old New Year's Eve classics that they used to play. Flames trying to win their second straight game and beat Montreal actually for the first time in 4 meetings. Meantime, coming into this game tonight, the Habs had lost 8 of their last 12 overall.
Carolina and Ottawa Senators have not scored an even-strength goal since November 11th. That's a span of 181 minutes of game action. Time winding down in the first 5-on-5 hockey. Point shot starts a flurry of action. Marion hosts a stop, but Vaclav Varada is not. Even strength drought ends at 200 minutes, 50 seconds. We're tied up at 1-1. The Senators scoring on 1 of 3 shots in that opening frame. Just $1.14 into the second. Even strength again. Brian Smolinski to Jason Spezza. They challenge him to play better, and he responds. Number 5 in the year, 2-1 Ottawa, and the Senators have this thing down pat now. Ottawa, what we talked about in the even strength drought. Well, this is the positive. Their power play, number 2 in the NHL, so that's getting it done. Wade Redden, point shot redirected by Radek Bonk. Past week's 3-1 Sens. 12 seconds later, they drop the puck at center ice, and this is why we set it up. Chara will dump it into the corner. The Canes just fall apart from there. And Brian Smolinski will corral this puck and set up Peter Schaefer, and just like 12 seconds later, it's back-to-back goals for Ottawa, 4-1 Senators. 3 minutes later, again, even strength, Chris Phillips, Todd White. Kevin Weeks is having one of those nights. White's first goal in 9 games played this season. Can't fault Weeks on that one. 4 minutes later, Sens back to the man advantage. Bonk, Martin Havlat, and Marian Hossa. That's how it reads in the box score. 6-1 Sens. They had 17 shots on net in the second period, and they cruise to victory, much to the chagrin of Paul Maurice saying, get me off here. Let's get out of here. Senators end that 2-game slide and remain undefeated against the Hurricanes in their ninth meeting. Last week, the Hurricanes went to the U.S. Capitol and lost 7-1 to Washington. Tonight, they lose 6-1 in Canada's capital against the Sens.
Mark Messier has the skill to play in Saturday's Megastars game at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, and he's certainly old enough to qualify too. And it looks as if the Moose will get the chance to skate with Gretzky and friends, as Messier is expecting to get the official thumbs up from the Rangers.
I'm pretty optimistic. Obviously, Glenn's been talking to the league and trying to get some of those things settled, but other than that, I'm pretty optimistic, yeah. I think I'm just going back there to be a part of the game, and it's a good way for me to say thanks to a lot of people in Edmonton. I think once you start the game and you start playing, I don't think the cold will be a factor. It's been a long time since a lot of us have played outside, but you know, I think the excitement and the adrenaline and all those things, I don't think you'll notice the cold.
I don't know. There's too much scrutiny out there. If there's nothing else to scrutinize other than Mark playing in the old-timers game, I mean, there's got to be something else going wrong, isn't there?
Oh, shut up. What a party pooper. Beneath the lights at Commonwealth this evening, things are relatively quiet. The Zamboni continues to flood the ice to get ready for the games, and as more alumni players arrive, despite what Mac T was talking about, the excitement continues to build.
It's going to be great to play against the Montreal Canadiens. I remember playing here in Edmonton, and it used to really make us upset. Every time the Canadians come into the building, they get a louder cheer than we did coming onto the ice. So it's 2 great teams for this area. With these guys, you don't have fun. They want to win. I know Gretzky wants to win, and Messier's playing. You guys have the news? Yeah. So, well, it's okay. They could load a team. So Glenn always had a loaded team anyhow.
It is tough. I guess we could have 3 teams out here for this weekend. Everybody wants to play that game. But what we tried to do, we tried to have guys from the 70s who won the Cup in the 70s. We had guys who won the Cup in 86 and the guys who won the Cup in 93. We also want to have players from all over the country.
We're here to have a good time and go out there and enjoy ourselves. You know, it's nice to just get back and see the guys and see how fat some of them got.
Living in Vancouver, you very rarely hear anything about the Oilers until they come into town, and this game has been on TV for the last week. That's the type of coverage it's getting, and you know, they've had coverage worldwide, and I think it makes it exciting and puts Edmonton back on the map.
There he is, Billy the Kid, Billy Ranford. Gonna be great to see him don the pads one more time for the Edmonton Oilers. Nice to hear from him, and we want to hear from you, the Power Poll. What would you be willing to do for a ticket to the Heirtage Classic? Oh, you knew it was coming. Skate naked during intermission. I wonder if Gilles Breton is going to be there, because he'd be willing to do that. You have to be a fan of the old WHA to know what we're talking about there. Spend the next 48 hours in line at Commonwealth. 2 minutes versus Dave Semenko. Now, Dave Semenko once fought Muhammad Ali. So It doesn't matter if you fight this guy on the ice or off the ice. It's going to be tough. Room with Nick Kyprios. You've done that before, I'm sure, my friend.
No.
No?
No.
It's in your contract?
It's written in there. No, and trust me, it's not worth going to the game.
And 2 words, body paint. And I know Mr. Millard had something to do with that item, because every time you host a party at your house, you break out the body paint, and I still got that Cobra design that you put on my back, and I can't get the darn thing off.
People always remember your parties, don't they? You gotta separate yourself from the norm. Capitals and Bruins. Mike Sullivan and the Boston Bruins won 4 of their last 5, mainly because the big line's going. Glenn Murray down the wing, teeing up the slap shot, and he solves Olaf Kolzig 2-0 Bruins. Andrew Raycroft leads all rookie goaltenders in wins, GAA, and save percentage. He faced 10 shots in the first. Look at him stepping up and stopping Sergei Gonchar. And then denies Jaromir Jagr not once but twice. Bruins up 2-0 after 1. The shutout intact till late in the second. Jagr will get that puck alone, high in the slot. His shot redirects off Nick Boynton and in. 2-1 Bruins after 2. Now midway through the third, Bruins answering back to that Jagr goal. Bergeron, Martin Lapointe. That's goals in 2 straight games for Marty Lapointe. Boston holds on to win 3-2. Bruins win for the 5th time in 6 games, and then the Capitals' winning streak add to. Raycroft made 20 saves for his 4th straight victory. Murray now has 4 goals in his last 4 games. And how about Boston? Another quick start, points in 17 of their first 19 games.
Lots more fun to come in this edition of the show. Mike Weir is here. Well, at least he's in South Africa at the President's Cup. We'll talk about that. With Big Red out of retirement, find out how the ice at Commonwealth was made.
I was called a player's coach. It's funny how it changes.
Is there a mutiny on the Leaf Bounty? Details when we come back.
This edition of Sportsnet News brought to you by Kelsey's, your neighborhood bar and grill, and by AIM Trimark, knowing pays.
At Future Shop, we figure why just tell someone what you want for the holidays when you can show them with this, the new digital camera cell phone from TELUS.
Hello?
Hey, honey, check your email.
Okay.
This is what I want for the holidays.
At Future Shop, you'll find hundreds of great gifts, like this exclusive gift bundle from TELUS. Future Shop. Come see what your future has in store.
Before AIM Trimark invests your money in a company, we check it out. There are no barriers. Nothing stands in our way. Because the more we learn, the more bad investments we avoid. AIM Trimark, knowing pays.
The Kia Sorento. How far will you go?
You must be excited to see your sister.
It's hard to believe it's been 20 years.
That must be her. Grandma, look who else is here.
Thank you so much.
Trust a Canadian to rise to the occasion when playing for a cup. Even though he had already won on the PGA Tour, Mike Weir entered the mainstream of the golf world by scoring 3 points at the 2000 President's Cup, knocking down Phil Mickelson in his Sunday singles match. Now back for a second tour with the international side, Weir has gone from surprising rookie to veteran leader. George, South Africa. Mike Weir teamed with Nick Price today in the opening day of matches, taking on David Toms, who played with Phil Mickelson for the alternate shot routine. Par 5, 5th hole, Americans up 1. David Toms eyeing it up. Approach shot over the hazard, beats the trap, rolls up to the pin. Mickelson would make the eagle to go 2 up through 5. But the match turned in the par 3, 17th hole. Weir flag hunting. He will put it on the green. Nobody was going after this pin today. Rolls within 5 feet. They would win that hole, square the match. Par 5, 18th. Weir putting for the victory. Makes no mistake. Weir and Price come back to take it 1 up. International side now with momentum. Ernie Els playing with Adam Scott, taking on Jim Furyk and Justin Leonard. Down 2 at the par 5 16th. Els bunker shot rolls nicely within striking distance for Scott to tap in the birdie, closing the gap to 1. Par 3 17th hole. Here's Els. Sinks it to square the match with 1 hole to play. Par 5 18th. Chip shot. Pretty good. Furyk and Leonard would concede the hole. Els and Scott come back to take it. 1 up. America's top tandem, Tiger Woods and Charles Howell III. Par 4 7th hole, USA. Woods approach shot. Lands on the green. Settles within 3 feet. The kid has game. They would have that hole. Par 4 10th. Woods now with the approach shot. Going after it. Rolls this one up within 3 feet. Howell would make that. They go 2 up, and they go on to win 4 and 3. A decisive victory there. But at the end of the opening day, the international side leads at 3.5 to 2.5, joining Weir and Price in the winner's circle. Retief Goosen, Vijay Singh, who beat Chris DeMarco and Jerry Keller. In the third match of the day, by the way, it was Davis Love III and Kenny Perry winning easily. How about Jay Haas and Fred Funk having their match with Robert Allenby and Stephen Laney after coming back from 2 down with 3 holes to play. As for the recap, international captain Gary Player says, "We have the lead. Pretty good day."
The 2 teams are so evenly matched and such great matches, and that's what Jack and I want to see. The true spirit of the game, no war on the shore and all that baloney. We want to just see a good match and a close match, and of course it would be the ideal dream if we could have Ernie playing against Tiger coming down the last hole. Now that's really having your cake and eat it.
I was hoping somebody was going to hit somebody over the head with a 5-iron. I guess not. Minnesota and Philadelphia. Manny Fernandez and a Wild blanked the Flyers in 2 games last season. And let's see if the mighty Manny can do it one more time. Well, John LeClaire at the side of the net. Fernandez will shut the door, so we were scoreless through 1. Second period, though, the Flyers with a 2-man power play. You would think they would score, and they do. Mark Recchi having just a sensational season. That's his 7th. And then less than 3 minutes later, the Wild try to tie things. They are on the power play. Sergei Zoltok from the high slot. Alexander Daigle. Oh, Alexander the Great. Well, at least the mediocre. No, Daigle got credit for it, okay? That's his 7th. The game was tied at 1. The Flyers, though, strike back. Recchi looks for Tony Amonte. Whoa. Tony's got his 7th. And it was 2-1 for the Flyers. They have just been fantastic. Second period winding down. More from those Philly fanatics on the power play. Jeremy Roenick goes to Amonte, out to Recchi. Firepower in Philadelphia. Give me a break. 3-1 for the Flyers after 2. It is now a final. Nobody did a darn thing in the third period, and Philadelphia holds on. They get it done 3-1. The Flyers remain unbeaten at home this year. 8-0-2. How about that? They extend their unbeaten streak to 8 games overall. In fact, Philadelphia only has 1 loss now in their last 11 games. Ken Hitchcock getting it done in the city of brotherly love.
Nikolai Habibulin and the Lightning coming off a 6-day layoff to start against the Islanders. Tampa Bay looks a little rusty early on. Corey Heirtage can't clear this puck. Oleg Kavasha with an opportunity. He will beat Nikolai Habibulin, but not in the post as it spits the puck right back out. What's New York's excuse? Eric Cairns gives it up to Martin St. Louis, pass to Brad Richards. Former Rimouski Oceanic with his 3rd of the year, 2-0. Lightning skip ahead of the 3rd now. Tampa on the attack. Corey Stillman faking this shot and then throwing it up and in. Did it get across? Yeah, from the sharp angle. 3-0 Tampa Bay. Now under 2 minutes to go in the game. Islanders having broken the shutout. Goalie pulled. Mariusz Czerkawski banging away at it, and that puck slides through the legs of Habibulin. Islanders within 1 late in the game, but they wouldn't get the equalizer. Nikolai Habibulin stands tall, saving the day with 26 stops for his 8th win of the season. Lightning improved to 3-1-1 in the last 5 games. Corey Stillman now has 4 goals in his last 5. When the Leafs packed for this 6-game road trip, everyone to a man claimed the rigors of travel would be offset by less scrutiny. Well, you can cancel that. Winless in the first 4 stops served up a juicy story that the players are starting to tune out Pat Quinn. Greg Ross has more.
He kicks it out. He's coming to the net. Backhand try. Sends it in on goal stop. Lidman, a shot, scores!
Winless in 4, and the rumors have begun circulating wildly. At the center of it all is Coach Pat Quinn. Less than 20 games into the season, and already there is talk his job is in jeopardy.
I try to do the best I can each day, and you know, it's you guys usually bring up crap like this, and you know, typically it's from an unnamed source.
The question is, has Quinn lost the room? There's talk that a number of players are unhappy and have voiced their displeasure with the way Quinn is handling the team.
First of all, I don't know who from our dressing room that is talking about what's going on in the room in terms of anything else than our performance and what we should do on the ice. That should be the only thing that players are concerned about.
I don't think there's loose lips in here, because if there is, I don't hear it. And I've been here a long time, and guys maybe say things to the other people, and that's just the way it is.
Like his players, Quinn is downplaying these rumors. In fact, he says he has an open-door policy, and his players can talk to him anytime.
From the one-on-one standpoint, that door has always been open, whether I've been a general manager, coach, over the longest time. I was called a player's coach. It's funny how it changes.
What may be most frustrating for Quinn is having to deal with these kinds of rumors despite the fact his team has a winning record. Of course, Quinn has also been around long enough to know it comes with the territory as coach of the Maple Leafs. Greg Ross, Sportsnet, Edmonton.
Of course, it's convenient the Leafs find controversy in Edmonton. Not really for them, but convenient for us, because that's where our Hockey Central panel has assembled for this weekend's Heirtage Classic game at Commonwealth Stadium.
Well, there's a shot of Molson president Dan O'Neill with hands like Jeff O'Neill. First official test of the ice surface here at Commonwealth Stadium, and some of the sponsors and business dignitaries here in Edmonton have given it the thumbs up. The sheet is ready to go as we get ready for the Heirtage Classic on the weekend. The Hockey Central panel obviously on the road. I'm joined by Nick Kiprios and Scott Morrison. And guys, for this particular segment, it's controversy and turmoil. Controversy over whether or not Mark Messier will have an active role in the Mega Stars game coming up on the weekend. And then the turmoil, of course, involves the Toronto Maple Leafs. Messier first, Nick.
Well, 2 nights ago, we said on Hockey Central that Mark Messier will be here, and we haven't changed our mind, and neither is Mark Messier, providing no injury tonight against Colorado. He will be on a private jet with Glenn Sather heading towards Edmonton, and we'll be here Friday morning.
Scott, in terms of whether or not Mark Messier should play in that Megastars game, it's up for debate, and it is a hot topic right now.
Well, it certainly is, and a lot of players, active players, have started to weigh in on the matter a little bit themselves, wondering why he is given an exemption to play in a special event such as this, and where does it stop? Well, I would suggest it probably stops here, and that some sort of legislation will be put in place in the future, especially if they're going to have more of these ventures, and I think they will. There was a lot of talk about Detroit trying to have a game this weekend as well, but logistically it just wasn't possible.
I'm going to make my best shot here at putting my surprise face on. I mean, we're, to the quarter pole, and Pat Quinn is on the hot seat again. Are you surprised, Nick?
No, not really. There's high expectations for this hockey club, and that is obviously to be one of the best teams competing for the Stanley Cup. That hasn't happened, and we're not seeing that. The biggest problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs is they lack identity, and for the most part of Pat Quinn's term, there has been identity, and that's been a team that's been able to put the puck in the net quite frequently. They're struggling, and, you know, we hear the term, well, they're quitting on their coach. Do players quit? No, they don't quit. They're professional people that are taking big bucks. They have much too much pride to stop trying hard. Maybe they've stopped believing into what Pat Quinn is telling them. That may have happened, but it's Pat Quinn's job to get that identity back. And if he doesn't, I'm sure there might be some changes, whether or not it's a coaching change or maybe, Scott, personnel change.
Well, if you quit on the coach, you quit on yourself, and that's a terrible situation if that ever comes to be. I think this is very much a team that is in transition. They're trying to figure out a different way to play the game. The way the New Jersey Devils have played and been successful, with much more emphasis on the gritty play, the defensive zone play, and there are going to be growing pains as a result. The problem is in Toronto, as a lot of Canadian cities, you aren't allowed that time to develop as a team. Everybody expects a win, and when you don't get the wins, you have controversy.
How about this play on words? We're just warming up in gearing up for the Heirtage Classic. We're looking forward to the weekend, and that weekend will be very busy. We'll take you through all of the events of the day, highlights from the Mega Stars game, obviously plenty of interviews on Hockey Central, the Heirtage Classic. Join us Saturday at 3.
From Commonwealth Stadium to Skyrim Center, Oilers, Leafs, and an update, Mike York with his 6th of the year, redirecting that point shot home, and that has given Edmonton the lead. 2 straight goals by the Oilers as they hold the advantage in the second period.
All right, moving on. Detroit and Columbus now. Manny Legacy making a second straight start in place of the injured Dominic Hasek. And you wonder if that's going to be an annual problem now for Hasek as he goes along this year. Rick Nash is going to score, and this is becoming an annual thing. Nash with his 11th. The London Knight, he's all right. It was 1-0 Columbus after one. Second period. Andrew Ice Castles from the bad angle. Oh, it's very, very bad as he beats a Legacy, and that made it 2-0 to the Suits. Late in the period, Pavel goes to Stevie Stumpy Thomas, stopped by Mark Denis. That's about as good as it got for Detroit because that wasn't much of a chance. Third period, 18-year-old Danny Friche. I used to love watching this kid with the Sarnia Sting. Here's the thing, he scores his first NHL goal. There you go. He's an American kid, and Columbus goes on to win this one 3-0. But Danny Friche is a 16-year-old a couple years ago. Was just so much fun to watch. And then he had a shoulder problem. Hardly played in junior. Now he's 18, playing in the NHL, and he gets his first NHL goal as Columbus actually wins for the first time in 6 games, and they beat Detroit for the first time in 9 games overall.
The Kia Hockey Wrap-Up Report, brought to you by Kia. Come out ahead.
Coming up, Michael Lambert attempts to steal the show from Sidney Crosby at the Canada-Russia Challenge. Find out why icing an NHL rink at Commonwealth was so challenging. And did Steve Nash assist himself to a win against the defending champions? It's an NBA Texas tilt coming up on Sportsnet News.
This edition of Sportsnet News, brought to you by Blockbuster Video. Make it a Blockbuster night.
Hey, Ray, look at this.